All right, traders, it's definitely been a week for the catalysts, or some call them tape bombs, right? We started the week with all the focus towards the CPI. We shifted focus towards the FOMC. Then we had to shift again. Initial jobless claims. Then, of course, wouldn't you know it, the quad witch coming into effect. A lot of expiration coming into play. I got some numbers from Goldman Sachs. Stick around. We'll talk about what's moving here. Looks like we got ourselves another power hour rally. Guys catching the pattern that I've been calling out there? I'm talking about this consistently. It seems like the later in the day trading is almost better than the open. Doesn't happen often. Let's talk all about it. Joel Elconin. We'll take a look at what's moving up. Can certain sectors get into the green for the close? Let's find out.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
What's going on, Joel?
What is going on, Mitch? What are you doing to this market? Holy Toledo. Folks, we are on the comeback trail. We are only down 35 handles after being down nearly another 40 handles for here. Boy, I tell you, when I tell you guys, I don't have support in the area, it makes me so frustrated because I couldn't give you a good level this morning. I had nothing at 3855.25, just nothing there on the dailies. But now we got a new level. We got a new weekly low. We got a new monthly low. We got ready. We'll be ready with the levels on Monday. Now what we're concerned about here is that psychological 4K number. No, not 4K, 3,900. That will be our new battleground. Can we get back above 3,900? Can we take out the intraday high at 1250? Can we get to the Globex high at 3450? A lot of questions to be answered next week. Second down week in a row. We got to be cognizant of that. But the good news is that we're almost 35 handles off the low. The buck, it's coming back a little bit. Really tight range in the buck today. The TLT, that's down a buck, but still, considering the way the market's moved on TLT, still within a shouting of the high of the move. Crude, we know what's important for crude next week. $78, triple top, just under that at 77.8 and 77.87. A lot of sevens in there. Gold bounces back from the shellacking yesterday. That's up $16 at 1803.80. Trying to hold that 1800, make 1800 support. And silver, it went from red to green. Now we're up 9 cents at 23,395. And Bitcoin, bad day, down 585. Did we get to that old resistance to act as new support, 16.5? Not just above it. It's 16,675. So that is where your Bitcoin is trading.
All right, so definitely looks like it was a lovely quad witch day where Goldman Sachs put out that there was $2.6 trillion worth of index options set to expire, the highest amount relative to size of the equity markets in nearly 2 years on today.
Whew.
Well, that can explain some of the volatility that we got, definitely. And it was a tough day for sure. I didn't expect us being back down towards anywhere near 380s for the week. So definitely a tough week for us. I think we'll need to just continue to watch what the focus is moving forward. Will we have the focus shift towards maybe a Santa Claus rally? I mean, that's probably what the Bulls can hang their hat on, right? If they want to be thinking about what could be coming the next couple of weeks. I still think that we've kind of had that fourth quarter rally and that we're slowly just going to drip down, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, we are making a little bit of a comeback here. It's going to be interesting to find out where we open on Monday because it seems like a lot of the action has been happening in the after hours or the pre-market. And then there's not much action in the actual intraday. Instead of one thing that we clearly see is these run towards the end of the days. That's something that I'm starting to it's like clear as day. 3 o'clock hits a lot often. We're getting these runs. what happens, what kind of traders usually come in during the end of the day towards the close? It's more your institutional style traffic, right? I mean, seems to me like there's definitely a trend going on here.
Yeah, I remember, and I've mentioned this before. I remember, I think his symbol was RJ. He would only come into the pit the last hour of trading. That's what
Yeah,
he would do. And if it
and,
was a down, if it was a
and it
down
happens.
day, yeah, a lot of times if it was a down day, he would just press it, to the downside. If it was an up day, he'd press to the upside. Now, on a day like today, he might have gotten cooked, but
Yeah.
yeah, he used to last hour. I mean, it hasn't been as trendy as it has before. Like if this was a trend down day where you just kept it going, closing on the lows. But we caught a bounce. We needed a bounce. I just wish it would have been, at a level that, more of an identifiable level for me. But we got some stocks moving today. Where
Mhm.
would you like to start, Mitch?
Well, let's just first let's go towards what stocks were kind of on our radar today. Of course, we were looking all around. One of the stocks that we talked about was Meta. Meta at least having a decent day, even on a day like today, where it was tough to start the day. Now it did a little drive up there, past towards the 123. I'll put the multi charts up here, and we'll see. Can we fill in that gap zone finally to the left hand side? And will that act as resistance and come back down? That's the only question that I have.
I think with these kind of stocks, you know, I'm such a momentum with the market trader. I would have been it would have been hard for me to hold it through this long here. The way it popped this morning, I went through the pre-market levels. The only thing of significance that I should have pointed out this morning and I didn't was the high close of the move. You know how I like to focus, on moves, but not necessarily the high because you don't know how much real volume trades there. But that, the institutions mark that, what's the high close of the move? And the high close of the move was made on the second at 123.49. You almost got there. You got to 123.31. So that was a bit of a focus number. And then the market conditions did come into play later, like when the market started to roll over. Facebook rolled over too. So you see they got the reaction that they wanted in a negative tape. You got a gap on the downside here now. I mean, no, but just a 20-cent gap on the upside. But we'll see. We got a good level for Monday, and I think it's going to be, without the market forces. If the market would have been ripping today and a big up expiration, this might be a 124, 125, but it's not with the down day in the market. But keep an eye on that high close of the move, not only taking it out, but establishing a new high close for the move. That's what I'll be looking for in Meta.
All right, let's take a look at what other stocks were making a big move. I think one of the easy ways, let's just take a look at the S&P 500 first. So let's see what was making moves, right? Well, at least the big boys continuing to move down, bouncing back a little bit like an Apple chart. This is definitely one that we're keeping a close eye because there's big important levels that we're just hanging out on. And
Yeah.
now I think next week is going to be very vital to Apple's stock because if we close down closer towards 130 next week, I don't want to be looking at Apple as we come
Mhm.
back towards 129. Of course, 129.81 and 129.04 from June 16 and June 17th. Those are the lows that I'll be looking to if we start breaking through the ones that Joel pointed out clearly this morning around the 134, 37s, or maybe you're looking
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
134, 38.
Um, yeah. Made it. This is interesting here. This is the third time down to the area. The market was weak. It took it out. It's going to close above it. So a lot of times when I see this kind of pattern, we're down wow $15 since that high on Tuesday. Um, I don't know if I don't think it's going to pull like the trick where it just goes right back up here. I think the fact that you took it out, and not by a huge margin, but I think you're going to have to at least establish, one other low in that area, maybe two other lows I can't quite call it a quadruple bottom, but man, the monthlies, I would just look at the lower, look at the monthlies. This is a big area. It would just breach today, closing kind of weak. I don't know, Triple D, locking in his Apple sale 155 is looking better and better as we speak.
It
But
is. It's looking
this is
awesome.
not good for the market that Apple took that out. Your next now it's not a good sign. Next monthly low 129.04. That was your June low.
And one of the things that we got to keep in mind, right? We've been hearing so much bad news about the iPhones. If we get a bad iPhone report, where's Apple going to be then? I think that's one thing we need to keep in mind, right? And this chart, it's nice monthly trend line that we're running into. If we can't hang on here, I see us at least coming back towards maybe 110 area. I don't think that we might take out our split date, but I'm still looking at split dates there to maybe see if we make a comeback towards those levels. We'll have to wait and find out on Apple. It's been decent on the daily. It's hung out the whole year. We definitely don't want to see it go towards the end of the year. We'll have to wait and see. All right, getting out of Apple, we could take a look at some different stocks like a Tesla today. Of course, a lot of people were watching this stock to see if it'd get the bounce. Would it continue the bounce? I gave a level to this today. I think Joel would be happy with the level that I gave. I think you hopped off right when I gave the level, Joel, but I gave the 160 level. I said just watch that level because we saw multiple times that we were rejecting it yesterday. Yeah.
Yep.
Right on the kisser. Yesterday, we rejected it there, 160, multiple price actions where you can't close above that 160. I talked about how this seemed to me like it was a bigger time frame kind of move back to resistance, but it could go right back to support and take out that support. Looks like that's what we did today.
No news on this today. No,
I'm looking through this. I mean, there's a lot of falling off of the rumors, of course. Elon Musk succession. Will Elon step down? There's a whole bunch of rumors like that out there. That he's looking for a new CEO. A lot of people said that this is, of course, further down the line.
Twitter. When we took
your internet's cutting a little bit there, Joel. You good?
Yeah, a lot of traffic here. You got me?
No stress. Yeah, I got you. Your video's cutting a little bit, but we got you. Audio's sounding better now. We're good.
All right. Okay, I closed out another browser here. Yesterday's high, we gave you a look at it. Yesterday's high, 160.93. Wow. I think you got to look at that this morning. And then that was backed up by Wednesday's high, 160.162. So paying attention to your daily levels there. Maybe you didn't get it at 160.93, but when you had a clear rejection of it, came back down through that opening print of 59.64, 150. The only thing that is a psychological level. And next, and I mentioned this before, that next up on the monthlies, Tesla owners, you don't want to know this, but it's 130.77. I'm sure I could drill down and find some daily levels in between there. But bad day, bad week, bad month so far for Tesla. And, it's kind of being, wow, I'm looking at the number of down days here. This month, it's had, it's had a couple. Oh, I'm looking at the monthlies. I'm sorry. Since last November, this thing has had 2 up months. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
2 up months since last December. So on its heels here, S&Ps are battling. I thought we might get up to like 3,900, but the bears are sticking in here. They're going to try and press it lower, but currently trading down 35.5 handles, 36 handles at 36.91.
For Tesla, we've been down about 63% from that high. Of course, that's like kind of a rounded outlook, but not a good outlook there if you're a Tesla investor. And like I mentioned, you start cutting through that finally that split date. I feel like there's a lot of people that long-term invested into EV because it was the sexy story and probably cut underwater now. So you'll have some overhead supply. Now
Oh,
it's just going to
yeah.
be more of a matter of battling through that overhead supply, as some people might want out, especially if this Elon situation keeps roaring its ugly head in the Twitter situation. That just goes to show you that when you see CEOs, it's important that if they are attached to a different company, that they're not just getting this whole negative outlook, right? It can come back to hurt a company like Tesla. And it's all basically, it hasn't necessarily been Tesla negative catalyst. It's just been the Twitter conversation.
Did you know that there's a bearish daily ETF on Tesla?
Yeah, I've heard of it. It's like a
Tesla Q.
1.5 time. Yeah. Tesla Q,
Yeah,
is that what it
it's
is?
yeah, TSLQ. X,
TSLQ. I see it.
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
bear. The bear. Look at that monthly
Oh
though.
man. Oh, look at that
Not a bad
daily.
monthly.
Man, if you look at that daily when that thing came to 65, holy mackerel, triple
Uh,
bottom there. Woo!
you
The
know what
triple
this shows
bottom there,
me?
this could be a fun thing to trade. If you're bearish, if you're bearish Tesla and you don't like to short, why not hop on to buy trade? What a timing. What's AXS? Is that what firm is that started that ETF?
I'm not sure.
AXS,
I gotta look
Axios?
it up. It might be Axios.
Okay.
But where's my man Jeff Dees used to be in the chat all the time. He still sends me some Twitter. He works for us. He does a little of the work, and he's been lately all on like kind of Dow theory and looking for the waves. This to me looks like an A wave, a first wave right here. And now you're in that real expansion type of wave where you're really getting that breakout. So for all those Dow theory fans out there, this would be your wave two, and a lot of the times your biggest wave. This was wave three. Wave two is this pullback right here. That's your correction, right? And then now you get your expansion wave, where this should be the biggest part of it. And you can see how Tesla's doing right now. It isn't looking good on the downturn. So we'll have to wait and see if this is a bigger opportunity. But it also just goes to show us that even a company like Tesla that was so loved and so treated as a tech company, high valuation, well, that is even coming into roost. You got to be worrying about your cash flows right now. And if your companies don't have cash flow, you better be understanding where your support is, because you don't want to be caught on a stock like this. If I was long-term Tesla and just thinking about it, I probably would have wanted to cut out through that 200 and not stuck around for this 150 move, just from what I can see long-term on the chart.
Is Ford going out of business?
Ford?
Don't give any news. I saw. Yeah.
It's just I think it's the appreciation. GM was coming down lower too. There was a lot of companies just in EVs out of favor. Whenever I see EV out of favor, I feel like Ford can only stay up for so long. Same thing for GM. They can only stay up for so long if EV overall is just out of favor, right? It's not like this is making drives because of a gas guzzler. We're looking at Ford and GM as an EV story now. And so when the EV story turns around, I wouldn't expect to see Ford hang around for too much longer. It tried here 1, 2, 3 times. I talk about this often, Joel. 4 times. On that 4th attempt, if you can't make it up there again, you're going back to support. Boom, breakdown. Happens often. The rule of 3. It's insane how much I see it happen often. And what does it show us? Is that it's really all about the patterns, right? Psychology in here, even if you were a bull, when you saw this day, when you were going up there towards the 14, you wanted to give you that breakout. Get into that gap. Get back towards the day on the 1st, right? Get back towards the low there of 14. Close that gap. Show that the bulls have control and want to take it to 1450. That's not what happened here. Cutting through the lows. And now you got to be careful, because Ford is definitely one of those stocks that has a little bit, and right now, a little bit higher beta with these recent moves. Consumer cyclical overall has that higher beta, and you can get these waves type of style. And we could be coming out for those lows. I don't think 11's safe here.
Bad day today, really bad day today. Horrible 3 days, man. All these charts look like the same. Peaked on Tuesday, just under $14. Has to be one of the worst 3 day stretches in Ford for a while. You are coming into an area of former resistance. You did before you made that move up to 14 and change. You did have a battle just over $12. You had highs at 12, 20, 12 and a quarter. So you're coming into a little bit of support. Institutional bids probably did $12 just because that's where institutions place their bids. But next stopping point, if the momentum continues on the downside, you got a pair of lows in the 11 handle. We're not too far from that. Let's just call the pair of lows in that 1170. I was I look at GM occasionally, and I just noticed this thing just kept taking out 40 and then coming back down under 40. Getting the back above 40, coming down under 40. What do you hit on the Tuesday CPI data? You hit 40 right on the nose. You lost $4. This does not, well, you're coming up on a one daily low here to keep an eye on for Monday. 35.83, but man, you don't hold that, and you're looking under that to oh boy, in the 34 handle. But let's see if it can at least slow down the pace of going down at that 35.83. That was your October 25th low. Your October 24th low was a buck and a half under that at 34.46.
Yeah, we'll stay. The chat had that right too. F-150 Lightning price now starting at $56,000. I'll tell you right now, whoever's in office, and I mean, I know Biden might not be, in office maybe in 2024, but whoever's in office, they're going to have to give some subsidies to these electric vehicles. There ain't no way the mid class is affording these vehicles at $50,000, $60,000. Let's just be honest. The mid class doesn't make that much to be buying a vehicle, even I think past 30,000. To tell you the truth, I think 30,000 will be that mark where majority of the mid class is like, I don't know, 35,000, 38,000. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot,
back in the days, I mean, you used to be able to get a new car for $22,000. Not paying no $40,000, $50,000 for a new car. That was Joel, I mean, you can tell us when in your day did you ever hear someone saying that I'm in the middle class and buying a $40,000, $50,000 car?
Well, you're talking to the cheapest guy when it comes to buying, leasing cars and stuff. So one of the best decisions was this was back in when my lease was up. I just said, you know what, I'm not paying $500-$600 for a lease, and I said, you know what, I bit the bullet, bought my car, nothing fancy. Probably put like 7,000 miles on it over the last 3 years, so it's fine. It's a tank. It's a gas guzzler, but you know what? I'd rather spend my cash on other things besides a ride. But S&Ps did dip there in the lower 38,680 handle, trying to recover into the close. Doesn't look like we're going to get back up to that magical 3,900 even. I would like to see that just from a psychological standpoint. We went through a lot of handles. That high, we're 300 points off that high from Tuesday of 41.80. And we were over 300 handles down when we made that low at 38.55 and a quarter.
All right, just to kind of give a little outlook, putting in the chat there, someone asked me about above and below SMA 200 and kind of market breadth data that I keep watch. So 27.7% of stocks are now above their SMA 200. I always watch this relative because this doesn't really give me much, right? It's more about the change. This got as high as 36%. We didn't get into the 40 handle. That was literally the mark that I had written down to turn around and full on bull market. So if there's one thing that I'll be watching is also that level the next time we get close to that. If we can get back into the 30% above the SMA 200, I'll be looking to see if we can get into the 40. And that shows me more and more that we're back towards a bull market. If 72% of stocks are in bearish territory, we got to still be careful, team. I think that's one thing to keep in mind. All right, let's go ahead. It's 3:56. A lot going on in the chat there. I see you guys talking about different stocks. One thing I did want to give, there was some Fed talk out there, of course. Mary Daly coming in with some lovely comments. You guys can catch them in the bottom if you want to read it all about. Pretty much what she stated, that don't get too excited. She said, I get confidence in evidence, not hope. She pretty much called everybody that's looking at that inflation data going down like they're on hopium. And that she said she needs to see evidence. She said, we are far away from our price stability goal, keeping everybody in check. Not something you want to be seeing from the Fed.
What a head fake on that CPI data, hook, line, and sinker. And I went back and I was out on Tuesday, but I looked at that. I mean, it hit 4180, and then it backed off 40 handles, right, before the open. And I think on the interday open, it was like opened 40 at 4140, went to 4141, and boom. Another thing we've been talking about on the show, at least I've been talking about it, is that, they're firm sellers on the way up. You could feel it in the market that, resistance, like my offer's out here. I want to take my loss on this one, or I want to trim my exposure. But on the dips, you couldn't, we broke down. We had that 26-day trading range with last week's low being the low of that 45.75. That would be 39.45.75, and there really wasn't up anything underneath that, and that's what you're seeing the follow through here. On the downside, heading into the close, we're trying to close in the 39.80 handle. You want to take a couple stocks from the chat?
Yeah, we got one from right now. Let's do that. It's Friday, right? We got to give back. Let's do it. Manuel bringing in First Solar. First Solar, definitely a stock that has been hanging on for a while, but now it's starting to get tough because, like always, the trend is your friend until it isn't, and it's starting to feel a little bit heavy for me. I don't think it's broken trend yet, but it's definitely battling. Like today, look at the bottom left chart. You can see how when we cut through the 160, we're now using that 160 as resistance. I'd be watching that area to see if we can close back above 160. If not, we could start using that as resistance, coming back towards the 150 support.
Yeah, with the high just above that today at 160.74. This actually went green a little bit. I'd be looking... if you want to, this had a nice run up. I do see a couple daily lows here, but when I see a couple daily lows, I like to see, just one doesn't do much for me, but a viable target next week. This 150 area, actually it's below 150. There's a pair of lows in here. If you're looking for more, or you're looking coverage short, there's a pair of lows at the 146.40 area, going back to mid-November. That's the only place I see two lows in a row. So that was the only thing I'd rely on. And I tell you, you got firm sellers here. You put the triple top in right there, just under 175. You had the break. The sellers came out again. They were firm on their offers on Tuesday and Wednesday, brought them down today. That red candle, man, you have not seen a red candle like that in First Solar in quite some time. So that's it, folks. Not only did we not clear 3,900 on the close, we couldn't clear 3,990. And it looks like the last print is going to be under 38.80. So that little dead cat bounce off the that interday low, we'll be keeping an eye at 38.55 and a quarter. That's your low. I told you guys before on the daily charts, I got nothing for you until you get on the dailies. Just going with my daily information. The pair of lows at 382. So, Mitch, you have a great weekend. Now that you can go out and drink legally, be good. And, be good out there. Be safe, and we'll see you on Tuesday, okay?
Appreciate the love. I'll see you guys back on Tuesday. Don't miss it, of course. Pre-market prep will be on Monday. I just won't be there, but you'll still have Joel Elconin. You'll still have Dennis Dick, and there'll be a surprise guest. Find out. Let's see if someone can guess it. But come towards it on Monday. Don't miss it, team. We'll see you next week. Like always, this week was tough. One thing we can do, right? Learn from it, right? That's what I think a lot of traders, they just get the frustration and they don't think back. How could I have learned from this week? What can I do next time in this situation to do better? We always want to make improvements. 2% better every day. My man Ryan Faluna from Live Trading talks about that all the time. I definitely live by that outlook. We can't make it maybe even 20% better every day, but if you just make it 2% better every day, you're in the right direction. Just like that would make sense for your equity curve. We'll end up finding out, like always, you guys make your own investment decisions, but we'll be here to turn the light on the market, get the understanding, and of course, the number one place to continue growing, of course, your understanding for the market and your skills right here, Benzinga. I'll see you guys. Have a good one. Appreciate the love. Take care. Quad Witch came in. Might be the quad